All right, everyone, welcome back to Cybertruck 1. The discussion for today is going to be the issues and the concerns we have over our first ever hard shell truck camper for a Cybertruck. Mentioned many times before, I'm going to be a foundation owner here in Colorado, and hopefully we'll be starting the project soon, but I just wanted to go through some of the things we're going to be dealing with in reference to the Cybertruck's limitations or EV limitations, and how diligently we're going to work to solve those issues. So look, we all know range is a key factor. At 340 miles of range without the extended battery, in the mountains when it's cold, if you're driving fast, is certainly something we need to be concerned about, because with payload, we know range is going to go down. We are of the assumption that if we can reduce our coefficient of drag the most that we can, the payload is less of a concern than the drag of the wind. So we're going to have a pop-up. It's going to be a hard shell, as discussed. It's hopefully going to be very streamlined. Now, with the front of the Cybertruck being so slanted, we're going to have to come up with a plan as to how to do that so that air isn't getting trapped underneath the front windshield and losing range. So that's one predicament. The other one is size. Let's face it, the Cybertruck bed is essentially 6 feet by 51 inches wide. It also is not on a straight angle. At the back glass of the actual interior, it slants forward. Our intention, hopefully, is to have the gate down. So that'll give us another 2 feet or so. In theory, we could also hang over the bed, over the tailgate further. I'm not convinced we're going to do that just yet. And the truth be said, a lot of the designs that we have are tentative. This is what we're thinking, this is the idea, but everything is subject to change because of the limited space. So, you know, for instance, there's that one thing called a Cyberlander. I'm anxious to see what they can do. I don't know how on earth you use 6 foot by 4 feet, have the tailgate closed, and have a camper that basically collapses in on itself completely and fits under the tonneau cover. I don't quite understand how that's going to work, but hey, that's their problem. But I can't wait to see it. I'm curious to see what they do. Let's see what else. All right, the next thing is charging. Look, we plan on traveling around the U.S., going to rural areas, going to national parks, and once you get away from the infrastructure of the highway, having a truck camper with limited range could be a problem, especially if you don't have the extended battery. But we're gonna do a couple things. I mean, some of them have nothing directly to do with the camper, like just having an assortment of different charging cables so that you can charge anywhere. Another thing I think overlooked many times is if you have the ability to charge at a 30 or 50 amp outlet, NEMA 1450, you can go to any campsite in the country and charge overnight. So that's certainly an option. But I'd also, and if please anyone on this watching this video knows anything about this, one idea I have is I've seen these collapsing solar panels, where maybe you could have a solar panel that's thin film that folds up into a big bag, but you can unfold it, and maybe it's 15 feet by 15 feet wide, and it captures enough. Obviously, one solar panel or two is not going to cut it, but if you could have an area that's 15 by 15, 20 by 20, I'm thinking in rural areas, out in the desert, in areas like Colorado where you get a lot of sun, that you might be able to recharge. That's something that definitely needs to be invented. And if anyone, please, anyone out there that's thinking about something like that or has the capability, contact me directly and we'll see what we can do, and we'll implement it on the first Cybertruck truck camper. I keep mentioning the extended range battery, and we are pondering that idea. But I have to be honest with you, 16 grand on top of the Foundation Series Cybertruck is a little bit more money than we're sort of interested in starting out with. The truth of the matter is, if you're doing a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, I think it's a no-brainer, because towing and then you have the bed for the battery is a no-brainer. However, in our case, since we are going to be using the bed for the camper, we might actually consider a version that the camper bottom actually lifts up and goes over top of that battery, but you're going to lose some space there. You'd have to probably redesign the floor plan of the camper. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Another thing we're going to try to accomplish in this truck camper build is trying to get all the things that you're accustomed to having on a typical truck camper. You know, a bathroom, a kitchen, a shower, a place to sleep. We don't want this to be like a tent camper. Nothing against that, but I don't want to be, you know, basically car sleeping. We want to have the luxuries of your typical camper, like a travel trailer or fifth wheel or truck camper, not something where you're standing around outside and so forth. So we'll see how well that goes, but that's the plan. And when the truck is finally complete, we're going to take you out in the mountains, out in the streams, in the wilderness, and we're going to give this truck, we're going to run it through the paces, and we're going to show you what it can and can't do, and whether or not the Cybertruck can meet all the expectations that's been placed upon it. Anyway, that's about all for now. Please follow us along with us here on YouTube as well as X. And as the building process starts, we will lead you all along the way. Furthermore, we're going to be doing a lot of accessories. So as I mentioned, if someone had a solar powered charging blanket that was 20 by 20 and could charge a Cybertruck, we would certainly do something like that, or winches, or lighting, or whatever there is for overlanding and 4x4 and off-roading and so forth. So, all right, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.